What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so we are getting into the new season of the Inkosi Super Cup. So you can see with me, of course, wrong hand. There we go, Mr. Patchy, right here with me. Patchy, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I'm good. You know, as usual, it's always a good day if we're watching some spicy games, and I'm assuming that's what
Mm.
this is going to be right here. We're going to see some spicy games, hopefully, because yeah, I don't know. I'm hungry for some spicy games. What can I say? You know, if you're hungry for spice, you're hungry for spice. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be out here. We're going to be seeing a nice spicy line to begin with. It's going to be giving us access to all of those good old spots, of course. Rozok, School, Pachinki, all of those good places, and some military base action as well, which is going to be nice as well to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where these teams are going to be going. We've got some new faces in the room here for today. So, yeah, I'm really keen to get this match underway, see where these teams go, where they move to, and of course, you know, then seeing what they do with what they've got.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the players from here will be, you know, qualifying for our monthly final once again and, you know, be working their way up over in towards the Umzansi season 2.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm also interested to see where the zone lands because recently we've been seeing some pretty static zones up towards like the northern portion of the map a lot of the time, and we've really been aching to see some of the southern zones come in. So I'm wondering if we're going to see some of those more southern bound zones coming in, or if we're just going to see the sort of standard centralized northern sort of zones coming out and just, you know, standard play.
Well,
Oh.
there you go.
I've got my answer. It looks like. Well, we'll see if the we'll see if that centers or if maybe we'll get some spicy towards that down towards that military base. But for now, all the teams there gotten themselves on the board, nice and spice as per usual. Spread out most of the place. We've got all our concentrations towards the usual hotspots as per usual. You know, we've got some Yasnaya action. We've got some a lot of actually just sort of going all the way down there. You can see Pachinki also a little bit of spicy stuff going on in there. So let's see if we see some shots going in.
Yeah, so there's a lot of potential for some pretty good action already starting on early in the game. We see, yeah, the players, of course, here from Angels and Demons right here. And, of course, in the kill feed, we see the players there, you know, taking a few hits. So that's definitely going to be, yeah, Angels and Demons right here with the team from the Exiles. And then, of course, we got the Anarchy Angels that we just saw in the kill feed taking a few hits. So we're off to a pretty good start so far.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. We're seeing already some shots going through. We're seeing nades getting prepped here, of course, by the Exiles, tossing them in there, making sure that they've got some early pressure on, which is always nice to see. And then this is something that maybe I've been missing a little bit, you know, seeing some of that early aggression and pressure being put down on towards the map, just sort of from the get-go. And I'm curious to see if that continues. Obviously, Exiles, we know how they've been in the past. We've seen them get nice and aggressive, which is always lovely to see. I'm interested to see if they're going to keep that up, or if maybe they've changed their style a little bit, you know, a little bit more passively playing, a bit slower. We'll see how they decide to approach this one. But yeah, so far, so good, I guess.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, we're just waiting now to see what these teams are going to do. You know, there's a few spots where we've got some of the players that are fairly close together. Of course, you know, Pachinki, right, being one of them. And we're going to see whether or not the other teams are going to start rotating up into position so we can get some more of that early game action. Because at the current moment, we've got a 3v4 here. The Angels, Demons caught up in the center of the building. We've got Roach. They're just keeping a watchful eye, trying to see if he can spot Cheddar and MG, as well as one of the other players there. I couldn't spot the name in time. Ooh. But we also see a few hits there in the kill feed, of course. Now, that all the way over towards the players there. That's the team from Emperor, I believe.
Yeah, it looked like it. Something along those lines, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, in any case, we're seeing some action
Empire,
here with
Empire Gaming. There we go.
We're seeing some action with Exiles and Angels and Demons here. Still, they're pretty much toe-to-toe, and I'm liking this. I'm liking the fact that the action hasn't really dropped off between those two teams as well, which is great to see. So I'm interested to see if they'll continue fighting, because that's some really nice stuff. A lot of teams, when the fight sort of disengages, they actually just continue that disengage. They finish it off and they just leave. But right here, we're seeing Exiles, and they're just moving straight in. They're getting the shots. That is exactly what you like to see. They're continuing that fight, and they push it all the way in. So well done and well played. That's some nice stuff to see right there.
Yeah, there we go. We have our first team being sent into the lobby. A few more teams, of course, now making their way in. You can see the Exiles just moving about, getting some more loot going. And, of course, we've got a few more players also just battling it out. That, of course, being the players there from, well, I believe it's the team. Oh, there we go. All right, so that is the players from Static Nation. And, of course, the players there from the Outlaws Gaming team.
Yeah, so some nice fights going pretty much across the board. You can see a lot of teams, they are spread out very, very wide across the map, nice and utilizing. Of course, that zone landing somewhat centralized, you know, a little bit at least, is giving them the ability to roam. So far, we see it happen a lot. And of course, that first zone, not very punishing. You know, even if you do get trapped inside it, it's not the worst. But, you know, we've been talking recently about how important it is to be inside the zone. And, well, a lot of teams are already there. And you could see one of those teams that is putting down the work right now, SN, getting those kills.
Yeah, no, they definitely putting in quite some shots. So we can see that in Guildfield, that, of course, being the team from Static Nation. They're getting hit. And, of course, yeah, they're battling it out there with the players from the Outlaws Gaming team. So it's looking a bit tough for them there, I must say. As you can see, Jin just tapping off a quick few hits. They're Trippy trying to move up, trying to provide some suppressive fire there.
Oh, this is very aggressive, and Trippy gets punished for it. Oh, yeah. Silent. What Static Nation getting hit very, very hard there.
Yeah. Outlaw Gaming taking them right out of the game. So well done to them. And now we're just waiting to see where we're going to find our next little piece of action, because we still have 16 teams left, 56 players in total. So, yeah, as you can see the map, the teams are definitely making their way in. We might have a bit of a fight there between the players from the Urwa, whatever, the players there into slot 18. That's a really tricky name to say. I'm just gonna slaughter it. Yeah, that one. And the players from Unique Elite. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. We can see the players from slot 18, of course, now just moving up, putting those shots in as the team there from Unique Elite now start moving up. Oh, how is that for a greeting? Pulling up to the compound, and of course, you know, just getting shot like that. Beautiful play though.
Yeah, I mean, that's one hell of a greeting. Like you say, just rolling up and getting the shots right in the face. Oof, Shanu almost getting taken down there, like min HP, but at least like maybe 5 at the most going on in there. But a really nice pull up there from Unique, just sort of laying it down, being like, yeah, we're out here, we in. You know, this is our spot now, so you're gonna have to fight us if you want to take it. But we're also gonna shoot you in the face. So that's a great way to roll up.
Yeah, well, that's how the game goes, you know. So we've got a nice Gren coming right in the window there over towards Rekt. So the team here, of course, from Burwa down to their last 2 players. We've got Deadshot and, well, the other teammate getting taken down. The name's pretty tricky to read there, but it's Shino. So that's who we have left, Shino and Shanu. Shino
Isn't
and
it
Shanu,
Rekt and
okay.
Shanu?
No, but like, just look at the names.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun with this one. Gonna get ourselves all knotted up and whatnot.
Like Shinu, Shanu, Shanu. We can get like all of them.
Yeah. The whole like extended edition.
Yeah. It's like the digital deluxe, dude. You can like.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're waiting now to see which of these teams will be making it up into our second round for today. This, of course, being the first round, the qualifying round, where we have the 2 lobbies.
Unique is just straight up pushing up. Look at that.
Down to 1. Oh.
Yeah, that's some
we've got some good action here.
Yeah, for real.
We've got some good action.
They're in such a good position, but well, Shanu is doing the best they can right now to keep themselves in this, and Unique is now. Oh, actually, wow, they over-aggress. That is over-aggression right there. That is over-aggression. We don't see that too often. That's like one of the rarest things to see in PUBG, but that is how you over-aggress and basically just inch yourself and lose. So I guess well played to Shana for just keeping the cool and winning the fights there. Definitely well played. And
Yeah.
there's nothing else to say about that. You know, the team there from Unique, they had a great position. There was one
Yeah,
player,
they
after
did.
they took down the player on the wall, it was a trade, but they were still at the advantage. But then they pushed up and they didn't secure the kill. And suddenly Shanu is just winning the fights, takes all three of them down, and it's like, oh.
That was a pretty good play from them, you know, being able to fend them off as they moved in. But I think where we saw the first few stages of that happening was when Unique rushed up into the compound. You know, we already saw the players there from Urwa being able to put in those shots, getting those knocks in, and at the end of the day, you know, it paid off because they sent them back. So yeah, beautiful play there, and let's hope we can see more of that as the match now, of course, progresses. You can see loads of teams, of course, now making their way up. You've got the players there from Empire rolling up fairly close to the team there from God Gaming. Now, yeah, we're just waiting to see what is going to happen. The zone, of course, also making its way in pretty soon. Well, that being in 1 minute and 45 seconds. So it's not as soon as I thought it was, but it's on its way. It's coming.
Yeah.
But this, of course, now giving the team some pretty good opportunity here to position themselves in that zone and get those shots going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things about this, that good old blue zone in the beginning is it takes its time, but it's slow and it's steady and it's 100% coming. You know, like there's no question about it. It is coming. It is behind you. It's on its way. That is the consistent factor about this whole thing. You can see a lot of the teams now approaching in towards that zone from the east, pushing in, making sure to get their way in. They know how important it is to be in zone. We know how important it is to be in zone, and well, hopefully they can get their way on in there. A couple of drops now hitting the map. You can see on your screen right here, just some spicy drops maybe to lure in some teams to see if we can bait out some fights. And that is one of the things about the game. There's a lot of different scenarios that get created here to try and push for more fights, because a lot of the time we see players get very, very passive, playing back, not really getting too aggressive. And these different things happening on the map are things that encourage fighting to happen. So see if we see some of that. Speaking of.
And we're seeing those shots, of course, now happening right up there with the players there from Limit Africa, putting a quick few hits in. Oh, let's see. And they're taking on the players there from Endgame, so we're just waiting to see. And it looks like they managed to take them out, judging by the kill feed. And, of course, also the team number dropping down by 1. So, yet again, pretty good play there well done, rather, because we didn't really see the fight. But well done to the players there from Limit Africa. Well played. 14 teams left, 47 players remaining. Everyone, of course, now making their way up into zone, moving up and trying to get some good real estate.
Yeah. And so hopefully they can get that. Of course, you can see on your screen here, some teams still remaining outside of that zone, but a decent a chunk of them still inside that zone. You can see Exiles there right slap bang towards the center of that zone in a pretty good position. But one of the teams is rolling up on them here. Very, very close here, I believe. I'm not too sure, actually. Oh, it is Royal Esports. Okay, I was right. So it's Royal Esports. They're moving up relatively close there. The rest of the teams scattered across towards the coastline a little bit. We've seen some teams like to sticking to sort of that area there. But right now we're just waiting for the teams to come inside. We have 14 teams, so we're just waiting for that blue zone to just encourage them towards one another, so we can get some more fights going.
No, we've also got the players here from Violet. They're, of course, right here, right next to the players there from God Gaming. You can see them, of course, just huddled up in the building here, dropping a quick few smokes. Now we just need to see whether or not they're going to try and move up. Are they going to push up into the players here from God Gaming, or are they going to maybe use the smoke to rotate out somewhere else? We're going to see what's going to happen with this. And also then, of course, we've got the players there from the Exiles as well as Royal Esports that we saw in the kill feed taking the Exiles taking a quick shot over towards them. There we go. Well, we see the Violets now getting ready to move. Panda putting a quick hit in on Sid as well.
Yeah, so Exiles, they definitely have looked pretty active during this game. They do not want to let Royal Esports get away. In the meantime, Phoenix also putting some hits all the way over as well. So they're making sure to get some hits in as well. But I like the fact that some of these teams here in this lobby have not let go of their prey. Once they see them, once they've got them in the sights, they chase them down until they are done. And right now, Exile's taking a couple of hits in return, but ultimately, well, there it is. They're going to take some more kills for themselves and knock a team out.
Yeah, and then of course we also still have the players there on the western side, that of course being the players there from Phoenix Prodigy and also the team from the Yeeters. So yeah, we're just waiting to see now what's going to happen on that. And we've got the Violets of course now moving up to that drop as well. There we go, we got the Yeeters now busy rolling up, Womb Raider getting knocked out, we got the Flighty and Blackest now just moving up. Oh, there we go. Another player falling off of a height somewhere.
Yeah, that's always fun to see. The zone slap all the way down towards the southwest of the map. So all the teams are going to be making their way down. We have about 4 or 5 teams, maybe 6, just towards the outside of the map. Most of them inside the zone right now. You could see Exile still chilling around there. And once again, will be most likely into another team unless they let them pass. But they've been pretty active here. They like to, as soon as they get a sniff of that team, a whiff of that scent, they go hunting. Right now, although, the ones who are hunting, getting hunted, they perhaps Phoenix. Just taking a couple of shots.
Well, we've got the Yeeters, of course, just making sure that the Phoenix does not chase them just yet. You know, just kind of laying down that suppressive fire, keeping them in their spot while they now try and rotate out. Their vehicle did take quite a bit of damage, as you can. But fortunately for them, they've managed to find yet another one. No flings just yet. We are still waiting for those flings. But this is only in the first round, so we might get them.
Yeah, hopefully. It's always nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, in any case, we've got 13 teams, and all of them are getting in towards that zone, trying to get themselves nice and comfy as we head towards the end portion of this match. Definitely going to be an interesting one, considering we have quite a number of players alive, 42 players alive on this map here. And, well, it looks like this zone is only about 100, about a kilometer across?
Yeah. I was just about to say, if you're going to say 100 meters, I'm going to go like... No,
I was going to say 100, I was going to say like 100,000. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the right number. I was like, 100,000, what do you... No, that's not the right one. It is definitely not that big. It's about a kilometer across, but it's only going to get from here. All these teams are going to have to fight for a spot to get in towards that final zone, where the winner will eventually, of course, be chosen for this match.
Yeah, and we're going to see what's going to happen. As you can see, of course, now we've got the Eaters. They've got a team rolling up on them from the southern side. Slowly but surely making their way in. But, of course, now they start taking the shot. Just tapping off a quick few. Let's see, will they be able to get those that team back to the lobby? That definitely, that would be a very interesting thing to see. You know, would they be able to get that? Let's hope for the best. But there we go, Muffin now coming in the kill feed there.
Yeah, so right now a lot of teams just trying to get their way inside because, of course, now the zones are moving a little bit quicker than usual, so they have to make sure they're getting in as quickly as they can. And a lot of the teams, well, they're going to have to start moving. You can see a lot of them already doing so, but a lot of them getting hit while doing so. Lots of pot shots going forward across all these players, trying to make sure they can get as much as they can. And right now, all the players, everything's riding on this moment to try and get into the zone because, you know, if they run into a team now, it's going to be a difficult one to fight out, especially if the team's already nice and secure inside that zone.
Yeah, and speaking of zone, there's quite a few teams already fairly well set up in that zone. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, you know, once the zone now starts closing in and the players have no other choice other than to be in the zone. You know, we still have 12 teams, 39 players left, and I think this next few minutes we're going to see a lot of crazy action taking place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is going to be, you know, as we always see, when the zone gets smaller, it forces the teams in, forces them to start making the decisions. See some critical decisions being made, you know. This is where the biggest mistakes are made and also the biggest plays are made as well. And that's what we're waiting to see. So right now, lots of shots going forward. You can see Infrared trying to move up here, get some hits towards Deadliest and Jim.
Yeah, Jin has already been knocked out. So now we'll see what's going to happen, because the players here from the Outlaws Gaming, they've already put quite a few hits in spades. So now we'll see whether or not they're going to continue that. There we go. Deadliest getting thirsted by Infrared. Now it's up to Jin. He is the last remaining player left. Well, that's obviously what it means.
Yeah, well, that's definitely what it means. He's going to be using that smoke to get away, though, so that's at least he's going to survive for the little bit, unless Faraz has anything to say about it. Is he going to land the shots? Looks like it will not happen. So, yeah, they managed to escape with just the bare minimum. Jim, with his life, is going to have to try and survive as long as possible. Of course, you know, those placement points always useful. But in other news, we're getting some more fights, as usual.
Yeah, and we've really seen Muffin in the kill feed quite a lot today. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's just like every now and again we see the name popping up, and yeah, we've seen Jim also now rotating up all the way across over towards the side there. A few more teams still on the outlying area of the zone, as you can see. Of course, Jin right up in the northeastern side. There we go, Muffin at it once again, putting those hits in. Now we just need to see what is going to happen. Will they get even more? Oh, there we go. The Exiles now also coming in to the kill feed. Now the teams are getting super, super close. And from what we can see on the map at the zone.
Yeah, all the teams need to get their way on inside. We have 9 of them remaining, 28 players to get inside this one, squeeze themselves together and set themselves up. And yeah, we're approaching that final zone. It's getting closer and closer. But we still have plenty of teams, you know, sitting in this one. So they're going to have to once again fight for their place inside the zone. You can already see that's happening towards the east. Lots of fights going on there as all the teams now trying to make their way up into zone. You can see Muffin, who's been hungry for the kills of late, getting himself inside there, running up towards that hill, getting some positioning going. But he's also taking quite a bit of fire here as all these teams are so close.
Yeah. No, she got knocked out right there. Down goes Muffin. So we'll see now what's going to happen. You know, at least there's some backup there. So we've got Muffin, Sprinkles, and Eclipse. Rogue Baby, of course, unfortunately getting sent back to the lobby already. So we'll see now, because we've got the Anarchy Angels. They're moving up. We've got Exiles right in front of them. And then, of course, also the Escapades taking a quick rotation over towards the north. We got Jin about to bump into the Escapades. You can see Safraz just pulling up a quick handbrake turn there on the map. Everyone now moving in, and now is the time that we're going to see the shots start flying all over the place. All these teams now start making their way in. We still have 8 teams left, 7, 21. There we go. So dropping down, the numbers are, yeah, really heading out the door.
Oh yeah, this zone is way too small to try and play past and stay alive. This is just an absolute slaughterfest right now. You can see the shots just coming forward from all sides. The Exiles putting the hits in. Everyone just getting absolutely hammered from all directions. There is no safe place right now for anyone. They're all just trying to huddle into this one. You can see everyone's just trying to stay alive, but because there's so much fire coming from left and right and front and back, everyone just has to look everywhere, and it's impossible to take shots in every direction at once. So right now they're just going to have to try and isolate as many fights as possible and survive as long as possible. You can already see 2 teams inside that zone, a third very close to getting in there, and the rest of the team's going to have to fight to try and make it up there, because at the end of the day, the zone cannot accommodate everyone. Yeah,
no, that's definitely true. And I mean, the terrain also, unfortunately, it's a bit of a different change up that we've got on the map here. We don't have that open field anymore. We have a way more elevated section of the map, of course, where we've got the zone now finishing, and the Exiles really using the height advantage they got there. As you can see them just pushing those shots right up into the players there, of course, as they now try and make their way up into a zone. Oh, Cheddar being absolutely relentless, hit after hit, just putting them in.
Yeah, definitely utilizing the position on top of this hill to some very, very good work, because line onto just about anyone around these on these lower portions. They're just putting all the hits in, as many as possible, which is super useful going in, because the more, you know, any amount of damage right now is useful, because if you can take a fight against any sort of a foe that's at any disadvantage, like, that's the best position to be in. So you want to put in as many hits as possible, even if it doesn't result in downs, even if it doesn't result in kills. And well, it looks like Cheddar's actually going to make a dash straight, you know, goodies there to try and juice up the experience a little bit more, give themselves a good shot. We've got 3 teams and 10 players left alive right now, and it's Exiles taking quite a big stance up here, covering quite a bit of ground.
And what's interesting to note also is, like, we've got the Exiles already sitting on 12 kills. Oh, down goes Cheddar. Muffin. I don't know what I was going for.
That was great.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you mix Muffin and Cheddar. You get mudder. But anyway, so that was a beautiful shot coming in right there. But what I was wanting to say is that we've got the Anarchy Angels sitting on 5 kills. All right, Muffin being the one getting all 5 of those kills. You know. So that's a pretty crazy play so far. One player pretty much raking in the kills for the teams. And of course, there we go. They're adding some more kills onto the kill feed now. Oh, just look at everyone picking off the players. So we're going to see a final finish, possibly here between the Exiles and, of course, the Anarchy Angels.
Yeah. I mean, as the seconds tick by, everything gets closer and closer towards that chicken dinner. These teams can feel it. The players can feel it. MG putting in some good damage there and some well-played little dodging skills out. Comes through. And, well, now we're left with our last 2 teams, and it is going to be Exiles pushing in to try and get that W. And, I mean, this looks pretty solid for them. They are in such a good spot. They have the side picture on as well. Cheddar takes 1. This should be it.
There we go. Game match set. So right there, they finish off with 17 kills. Wow. Empire also finishing off their play in 2nd place. Also pretty impressive kill there. They got 7 kills in that one. And then, of course, we've got the players there from the Anarchy Angels finishing theirs off on 7. 5 of those kills, as I mentioned, going over to Muffin. We also have the team here from Limit Africa finishing off in 4th place. The God Gaming team in 5th place. I mean, yeah, it was a really, really tough matchup.
Yeah. Not only was it a tough matchup, but it was an incredibly exciting game to watch. We had some early aggression right in the beginning. We got some aggression through all the middle. And then right in that final few zones, we had quite a number of teams just sort of in a spot that they maybe didn't look too comfortable in. And they were like, oh, damn, we have to get into the zone somehow. We have to move up. All of a sudden, we found ourselves in like the last zone with teams just everywhere. And you can't take a fight, you know, in a 360-degree angle. You have to isolate them before that. And that's why we keep talking about the strats beforehand. You know, we say, get the advantages in the beginning. Wipe out the teams in the beginning. Try and get yourself in as soon as possible, because otherwise you're left with 20 teams surrounding you, and then it's just a ball game up in the air, and who knows what's going to happen. And ultimately, I think the Exiles put themselves in a really, really great spot. They were like, all right, that's fine. We're going to put ourselves on top of the hill, which is the best spot. We're going to see everyone around us right down there below. We've got the elevation advantage. We've got the side picture. We're going to put in as much damage as possible. And yeah, they put themselves in, pretty much set themselves up for that win. And I mean, 10 kills on Cheddar.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so we are getting into the second round for today. First round, we of course had the teams qualifying to make it into the second round. And Pubg, there's an interesting lineup that we're looking at in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, the first map was really, really great. It was pretty interesting, and for those of you who saw me get cut off right at the end there, you know, you'll know how I feel mostly about that first map. But I'm super keen to get into the second one because I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing more and more of that great stuff, and hopefully a little bit more action towards the beginning, so that we don't have so much chaos towards the end. But yeah, I guess with that being said, let's see how this one pans out. I'm keen to see where that where the flight path goes and where that zone drops as well. We'll see if we can get a nice south one because we haven't really been getting any of those. You know, we had a couple of those earlier on this, you know, a couple of weeks ago. We were getting nice southern zones. We were getting some bridge camping going. You know, we were getting some islands, but now we're waiting for those because we haven't seen them for quite some time. So let's see if we get those. Let's just jump into it. We're about to get into games. So yeah, I guess let's see what happens.
Yeah, and of course the teams that we had that made it through into this round, being the teams there, we've got the Escapades, we've got the Yeeters, we've got Phoenix Prodigy, we've got Unique Elite, we've got the Exiles, we've got Anarchy Angels, Violets, Static Nation, we've got the Outlaws, or Outlaws Gaming rather, Testo Gang, we've got Empire Gaming, we've got Limit Africa, God Gaming, we've got Inc, the Urwas, Royal Esports, and then of course the players there from Endgame. So yeah, that was the top placing teams that we had. So we've got 17 teams in this lobby, and I definitely think it's going to make for a very interesting match. We've got 3 of them, of course, coming up. So you're just waiting now to move over into the first one of round 2. So we've got a few seconds left until that match actually kicks off. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully we'll be heading over there soon. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to have to reenact the whole map. You know, it's like this guy's running and then, you know.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, look at that flight path. That's a bit weird. We haven't seen one of these in a while.
It is a strange one, yes.
Yeah, it's going like straight across there, right? From the top of the Pubg all the way towards the western coast of the main island. So we're still going to have access to all of those nice and spicy hot spots, but no military base. Feels bad, man.
Well, we'll see, because you know maybe we'll see a few teams rotating down over towards the military base because a lot of the flight path, of course, you know, being in the northern section of the map. So maybe we'll see 1 or 2 feisty teams that decide they want to go loot up over in the military base, seeing that it is so far away from the flight path. And I guess it also depends on where this the zone is going to take us.
Yep. Yeah. That's definitely still something to keep in consideration because a lot of the time, actually, you see where the majority of players are dropping, the zone will choose to go opposite that. So, yeah, maybe we'll see some military base action. Who knows? Maybe the zone drops down there and we get something spicy.
Yeah, we might have some early game action already there with the players, of course, from Limit Africa. And then, of course, the team right there with them. That being the players there, of course, from Testo Gang. So they've touched down right in Yasnaya. We can see them right there, very, very close together. So we're just waiting to see now, are we going to see some of those early game shots happening right there with the teams? And, of course, we're just waiting for the flight, for the zone to finish popping up on screen. There we go. So, Pubg, your wish has been granted.
Exactly as I have predicted. We have a nice spicy zone down towards the south. That's great. Now we're going to potentially see some teams move in towards that island, and now maybe we'll see some bridge camping. Maybe we'll see some decisions having to be made here whether to stay on the island or not, because this zone could still end up on that mainland, but it could also end up on that military base. So this is some nice. Sort of like strenuous situations that are eventually going to have to come in and start forcing these teams to make decisions, and then that's where we really see some spicy stuff happening.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to those potential bridge camps that might happen. We'll see whether or not that's going to be the case for today. But of course, in the meantime, we've got the players here from Limit Africa making their way around, and as I mentioned, we've got the team here from Testo Gang also right there with them. they're not that close just yet, but I mean, we've got a few more teams you can see up in the northern side heading over towards Kameshki and Stolba there. You know, we've got a few teams in that region and not very many teams already making their way towards the lowest section of the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically what we see a lot of the time. We see the zone drops somewhere, and then a lot of teams might just rush to the opposite side of that because they know that chances are teams will most likely be heading towards the zone. So going opposite where the zone is, you're most likely not going to find anyone, which means you got free loot, basically. So they can just sort of go to those extremities, go out there towards the north, get some loot, you know, make sure they're all good. But the only thing is that we have to, you know, sort of keep in mind is that if you're going to do that, you need to have a plan for getting back in there. And actually, it looks like we're going to have some people just taking a bit of a swim.
Yeah, forgetting to breathe and all that all that lovely stuff. So, but I'm interested at looking, you know, seeing that fight just to the southern side of Kameshki. Because we've got a few players over there. We've got the team from Inc. We've got the players there from the Outlaw Gaming. And then, of course, also, you know, the players there from God Gaming moving up into that direction. As you can see them on screen right now, Pablo, Rect, and company just making their way. And they are right there with the players, of course, being there from Inc. So we'll see now whether or not they're going to decide to move in, push into that position. Or, you know, what's going to happen. Because at the moment, Adonis is there all by his lonesome. But if, of course, they rotate a little bit too wide while circling the compound as they are at the current moment, they might even also bump into the players there from the Outlaws Gaming.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here because as you can see, Pablo moving in there might just end up head to head, but right now not really finding anyone, so it's still relatively safe. But yeah, definitely could bump into some players here. We have yet to see the same sort of fights happening early on, but that could just be due to the fact that we only have 14 teams right now. So there's a little bit more space, a little bit more breathing room for the teams to start moving around in.
And I wonder if we're going to be seeing any of those hunted teams in this season. I mean, that would be something that would be absolutely fantastic to witness. And yeah, I'm really hoping that we see some of those hunted teams come in. And of course, you can see Pablo now just moving up on Adonis there. Adonis putting a quick hit in on him. And see Pablo runs around and there we go. How you doing? Back to the lobby he goes. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful play there. God Gaming already going out, getting their first kill. So not a bad start for them.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to start it out. When it comes to what we've seen before, we saw a couple of teams in this in the previous season getting pretty aggressive, going on the hunt. We'll see if that gets replicated here. I'm sure that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to, you know, this season, especially now that the teams have, you know, gotten so much practice and really just up the performance in general. You know, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pop off like that. But I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff. I mean, in the previous match alone, we saw, I think it was like Cheddar or someone pick up like 10 kills. So I mean, we've started to see some of these teams really just racking up the kills. The Exiles were doing a pretty decent job in the previous map. So yeah, it was pretty good to see. We'll see if that continues. Now we could see most of the teams here still trying to move down slowly but surely, making their way in that first blue zone, obviously taking quite some time to make its way in. So there's plenty of room, but Unique has already made their way to the island. You can see team moving down there. I believe that's the Violets there, moving down on towards the eastern bridge, and they're making their way down towards the island as well, and they might just get caught.
Yeah, now is the season for bridge camping, and we'll see whether or not the team here from Outlaws Gaming will also be moving up into that area. They're of course way north in the map, slowly but surely just passing past the area there in Yasnaya. So they're of course heading in, making their approach for the more southern region of the map. And maybe, hopefully, they'll decide to try and cross one of the bridges. Because at the current moment, we have that western bridge fairly open.
Yeah.
No one has moved into that position just yet.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see one of the teams moving in. You can see Exiles look like they might just be making their way down slowly towards that point. But, as soon as a team gets to that position there towards the Western Bridge, they're going to have a nice, spicy spot to capitalize on because, there's only two ways, really, that you get onto that island. You either go across the bridge or you go by water, and that means either grabbing one of the boats like we see some of the teams trying to do that down towards the pier, and otherwise you take a swim. And hope for the best, and it sometimes can leave you exposed, and that's always not the best position. But if it ends up being what you have to do, then you have to do it. So we'll see if the teams can make their way across. There's always a choice between whether or not to get on the island or to do the bridge camp. But I think right now, just seeing at the fact that there's not really anyone on the base right now, and there's no one on the bridge. I think that the first team to get to that bridge and realize that it's open completely has a pretty good spot to be in. If they can set up a camp there, they can basically gatekeep anyone who wants to try and cross that bridge. And that means they just most likely going to get fed the kills. Otherwise, they're going to force the teams into an awkward spot.
Yeah, well, we've got Chet already moving up to that bridge there, as you can see. He's made his move. Now we're just waiting for the remainder of the squad to move up into that position. We got the team, of course, from Phoenix. Slowly approaching in that direction. So now we're just waiting to see who's going to try and maybe use a boat or some other method to get across. But of course, only time will tell, and we'll see. We'll find out soon enough. As you can also see in the northeastern side of the map there, we got the team, of course, there from Tester Gang. Now we got. Well, they pretty well positioned, fairly close to the prison area there. Now we're just waiting to see whether that's shelter. And also now we got the team there from God Gaming just rotating up as well. So a lot of teams now making their way up in towards the zone, that southern region. And if the teams really play this well, they can really, really, really capitalize on the other teams as they make their approach in. But of course, finding the appropriate route where those teams are coming in, that is the tricky part.
Yeah, I mean the most optimal setup, I think, on the bridges themselves would be to have two teams camping it, and obviously that's not something that you're going to see very often, if at all, just because of the fact that obviously teams aren't going to be working together. But if you were to have, for instance, on say the eastern bridge right at the bottom on the island, if you were to have one team off to the right hand side and one team off to the left hand side, you could basically just set up a grinder for any team that comes past there and just absolutely mow them down. And that could be something that's very, very interesting. In any case, the Exiles going to be making their way across the bridge there on towards the island where the zone has decided to land. So we are 100% going to be seeing a military base final zone, which is absolutely amazing. That's pretty nice. We haven't seen that in quite some time, but still a lot of teams need to make their way down from the north and the western sides of the available area. They need to make their way in pretty quickly. We have 4 teams moving their way in from the west, trying to get towards that bridge. We have one coming down from the middle up north, moving down to the western bridge as well. And we have a couple of teams, also 3 or 4 teams making their way down to the eastern bridge, but both of the bridges are camped, which means these teams, well, they're going to have to make a plan. Otherwise, they're going to get knocked out.
Yeah, but we're also seeing, a bit of a slow rotation for most of the teams. Also taking into consideration that the zone has shifted way, way south. So it is quite some ground for the teams to cover. But of course, there we go. You can just see in the kill feed, the team's really capitalizing on that bridge camp that they got set up. Look at the team, of course, here from Empire. Now just rolling up into the area there where we've got the players, of course, from the Exiles, and up comes the Anarchy Angels now also moving in, shots flying right over towards them. So I think we're in for a fairly interesting section. And of course also over on the eastern bridge, we've got some more action happening there as well. As you can see, the players here from Unique tapping away at the team from God Gaming as they move in. Vehicle explosion. Man.
That is
Z-God is a legend. This player right here is a legend. Thank you so much for blowing up that vehicle. I'll give you a high five.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the risks of trying to get your way, just sort of brute force your way in. You're going to get hit hard by the campers there. They're going to make sure to put all the bullets down in towards your vehicle and just absolutely take you out all at once. So I know you like that, DK. It's always nice to see some vehicle explosions that go up, knock some teams out. Right now we still have 14 teams remaining, 50 players left alive, and some of the bridge camps not really working out as planned. Exiles not really being able to pick up too much. Some of the teams having already pushed past in it towards the island. But there are still plenty of teams that need to make their way in. You can see Phoenix taking a bit of a swim, and the rest of the teams just moving their way on down. Like you said, a bit of a slow rotation coming in from a lot of teams, but the majority of them safely in towards the island.
We're still waiting for a few more to come in. That, of course, being the players there from Outlaw Gaming, also the Escapades, and, of course, the players there from Limit Africa. Those three teams, we still have them on the outside of zone, and of course also then the players there from the Yeeters, waiting for everyone to make their way up in towards zone. A little bit of a late rotation there. As you can see, also the blue zone is busy closing in. Now we're just waiting to see, where these teams are going to go to. And as you mentioned, also those bridge camps, not really working out too great just yet. But I mean, this match is still far from over. I don't think we're going to see any more camps coming up, but we might definitely see some more crazy shots. Seeing that we have so many players, still 49 players, 14 teams. That means we've only seen one team go back to the lobby.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that all 14 of these remaining teams and 49 players have to fit on this island. And, the zone's not going to be kind, and this island is not very big, which means that these teams, they need to get themselves in a decent spot, and they need to do it very, very quickly. Because if they find themselves caught out, it is going to be so hard to recover, because there is just... let's just say it's a tight spot to be in any case.
Also curious to see what's going to happen there. As you can see, we got the Escapades and the players there from the Outlaws Gaming team very, very close together right there in the northern side of the zone. And of course, now the players there from Limit Africa busy making their way across. We got Unique just on the receiving side. They're waiting for the players, of course, now to start moving in so they can start putting those shots in, which they do. And the Escapades also putting a quick few hits in over towards the players there, of course, from... the Outlaws Gaming. See the kills there in the kill feed. There we go. Elusive now moving up. Will they get those hits? Puts the shots up. Oh, there we go. What's that? No, that was just... Oh, there we go. They're down.
Yeah.
The Escapades got sent back.
Yep. Nice. They have been sent straight back. We're left with 13 teams now remaining on the board, although our boys from OG, they're going to have to make their way in pretty soon. That blue zone is not looking good right now. It's right at their heels, and it's about to get close. And they either need to take an absolute sprint down towards that to that bridge, or they need to take a swim. And if they do either of those things, they will run headfirst into at least one team. You can see that zone now zoning in down towards the southern portion of the military base. So this is the most south zone that we have seen pretty much ever for quite some time at least. And, that's going to force all the players down once again, and that means more fights.
Yeah, and this is, of course, what happens when Patchy starts asking for Southern Zone. The zone just keeps on shifting south and south and south. And it's making it very tricky for the players because now they can't really stay in their position. They need to keep on rotating. And you can see the players here from Empire, of course, doing exactly that. Aside from the slight quick push that they're trying to get in on the Eaters here, we got Womb Raider already getting knocked out. So, down goes Flighty as well. Beautiful shot there in from Puffy. Now up comes Strip trying to get that quick shot in. Let's see, will they be able to pull it off? There, one player down already, Bri being sent back. The Exiles once again in the kill feed, blowing up yet another team. Oh, and Empire also getting those hits in. So down goes the Yeeters. We are down to 12 teams. And of course, we've got a nice potential fight. Just lying in wait there, that being between the players there from the Anarchy Angels and, of course, the team there from Inc.
Yeah, And you see here that a lot of teams have made their way down south, but like really, really south to the south coast itself. Sort of maybe just expecting the zone to choose south once again, which it might just do. Right now we're sitting with not much room to play in, just over a kilometer to sort of play around in at the moment. And most of the teams very, very clumped up towards the southern portion of that zone. And well, a lot of teams still having to make their way down onto the island. We still have 2 teams on the mainland right now, still trying to make their way down. A little bit of a late rotate might come back to bite them. But right now, most of the teams that you can see here, Yahaya getting pushed.
Yeah, and the Anarchy Angels are, of course, now moving in right in towards Ink. Ah, down goes Nodwin. Oh,
Wow.
beautiful shooting, but an amazing comeback there by Sprinkles. Just popping up onto the roof, putting those hits in. And yeah, down they go, getting sent right back into the lobby. But we also now still have the players there from God Gaming as well as Phoenix, as you can see, of course, over in the southwestern side. Now waiting for the Exiles, as you mentioned, moving all the way down over towards the southern part. You can see the teams kind of in anticipation, keep moving all the way south. And now the zone pulls the quick one on them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, moves up over towards the eastern side.
Yeah, of course it's going to do this. We've seen the zone do this pretty much every single match. It's like it goes somewhere and then it makes it look like it's going to be, and then it just sort of bait and switches the teams. It forces them to rotate again, which is great because that means more rotations and more fights and more stuff happening all across the board. And right now you're going to be able to see Unique in a pretty decent spot inside the zone already. Exiles moving up as well. Violet trying to make their way in from behind as well. You can see most of the teams just trying to get their way in, but the zone, it's tiny, and we still have 11 teams and 35 players on the board. Somebody's going to have to give, because, in fact, not somebody, a lot of people are going to have to give way right now, because there is basically no space left in this zone.
Yeah, and I mean, Phoenix just riding the edge of the blue zone. They're trying to see if they can spot any of those opposing teams, trying to make their way up in towards that zone. They are parking out in the blue for quite some time. And yeah, I think they should maybe consider making their way up in towards zone, because they've been out there for quite some time now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's generally a good idea to make your way up outside of the blue zone, you know, just preserve your health. You know, the meds are there, sure, but like you don't want to be wasting them just for the sake of staying in the blue zone. You know, the one of the things is, yeah, the blue zone strat is a thing, but also if you use all your meds up before you take your final fight, you're always going to be at a disadvantage. So, you know, you never want to be in a position where you're using up all of your meds just so that you can heal up after chilling around in the blue zone for no apparent reason, you know. Sure, maybe it gives you a bit of time. It, you know, paves the way, being a little bit more open since all the other teams won't be there. They'll already be in zone. But is it worth it? That's a difficult one.
Yeah, not too sure. But we got the Violets, of course, now opening fire, putting those hits in right on the Anarchy Angels as they're now trying to make their way in. Muffin in a bit of a difficult spot. Their shots flying up, getting knocked out as well. Now they are down to their last player, that of course being the team from the Anarchy Angels, Rogue Baby being the remaining one. And yeah, I think Phoenix is in a bit of a tough spot because they hung around that blue zone for so long. Oh, there we go. The Anarchy Angels getting taken out. But as I was trying to say, the team there from Phoenix putting themselves in a fairly dangerous position, because now they're trying to make their way all the way up into towards zone. They will not be able to outrun that zone. And there we go. The blue zone takes them out, sends them back to the lobby. So that was I'd consider that a failed blue zone strat.
Yeah, I mean, play with the blue zone, you're gonna get zapped. Like, that is just, you know, the whole idea of being in the zone means you're gonna take damage. You have to plan for that, and if you're going to be left in a situation where you haven't made your way into the zone and you're stuck inside the blue zone, you don't have enough meds, blah, 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 then that basically means that at some point along the way, you failed to make a decision that was critical for your survival. Basically, you decided to stay in the zone for too long. You didn't decide to rotate quick enough. You decided to push a fight when you shouldn't have. You know, those are the decisions that you really need to sort of be making if you want to stay alive. And going down to the blue zone, not really what you want to see, but it is what it is. Now, right now, we're going to see that zone holding up all the way towards the north once again, switching things up a little bit, forcing the teams to rotate. We can see Unique once again already inside that zone as well. And, well, we're going to see some more shots. OG putting them in.
Yeah, Unique really putting some hits over towards the players there, of course, right up ahead of them. Now, it's like they're gatekeeping them to a certain degree. You know, those players there, of course, being from the Testo gang, they're in a bit of a tough position. And as you can see, we got those 2 teams already in the zone. We got 3 teams over towards the southern side. And of course, as you mentioned, the players there from Outlaws Gaming right there on the doorstep of the players, of course, from Endgame. And of course, some more shots now flying from Unique right over towards the players there from the Testo gang. So yeah, a few teams in a pretty tough position. Yeah. Let's hope that they start working on those rotations, because that's something that's a bit
concerning.
Yes, it needs some attention.
Yeah. It's always difficult to sort of plan around that. But in any case, we're going to be seeing Unique still putting those hits in, and a decent set of hits at that. Also, Exiles once again popping up in that kill feed, putting their own hits in and getting some shots, but lots of teams now struggling to get in there. Exile's doing some good gatekeeping, but let's see if Unique will continue their gatekeeping. Meanwhile, that blue zone's still being harsh and cold as per usual, going to be taking some some hits on towards the players. We see 3 teams trying to take a 3-way fight out towards the east, but they still have to get in zone themselves. Unique now pushing up as Exiles following close on their heels. We see who's going to come out on top of this one.
Yeah, so I was laughing at Keish there now with the vehicle, all the tires being shot out, trying to move it about. That's quite funny though, but yeah, we've got a drop not too far away. It should be start making its way down anytime soon. And of course, Unique now just trying to hold on to the position that they're in at the moment. You can see some shots now flying up there from Limit Africa right over towards the Exiles. There we go. And of course, now the players there from Outlaws Gaming caught in a very tricky position. Some shots now coming up over towards them, as well as the players there from Endgame trying to pull into that military base area. But of course, that puts them in a very, very difficult spot, as they are kind of stuck in their vehicle.
There should be train tracks.
There's not a lot.
There should be train tracks. There should be train tracks in the game, and then when your car has been all the tires pop, you can put it on the train tracks and drive it back and forth. Oh, nice explosions! Going to be knocking out some team players here. We have 4 teams and 13 players. So many players getting absolutely crunched right now. You can see the Exiles putting in some serious work here, and also trying to move up Venom, trying to get their own hits in, and actually going to be able to drop shots and take out the last remaining player there. There goes another team. So it's 3 left on the board, 8 players left alive. And, well, it's going to be Unique. It is going to be the players from Endgame, I believe that is. And then, of course, the Exiles, who put in such a great performance in the previous round or the previous match.
Yeah, so let's see how this is going to go. Will Unique get... So we've got a 1v2v4. So a full squad going up against a solo and a duo. So this is definitely going to be a fairly tricky one. And we're going to see a few shots, of course, now still flying across. The players have not given up yet. You know, the shots are still going to be flying in. And Venom putting a quick hit in over towards Nukes as well. So it's not over yet, you know. It's a trio. It
is a trio, yeah.
Yes, don't mind me today. Don't mind me. So we saw some great shooting there by Venom, and of course Unique now rotating up towards Venom. Oh, it's going to put him in a very, very tough position. So we're just going to see now, will he be able to fend off the onslaught from the players there from Unique, as they of course now try and move in. We got the Exiles also taking a few hits. You can see in the guild feed there. Now they're trying to run up in towards zone. Nuke's getting taken down as well. Now it's up to NG and Panda, the last 2 remaining players. Well, 2 that's not been knocked out just yet. And of course we got Hawk and Zigard there right on the edge. There we go. So quick hit coming in.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Unique trying to split their attention. One half trying to take out the last remaining player from Venom is eventually going to go down, leave them up against Exiles. But Exiles have been taking so much damage here. They have so little cover, and Unique knows exactly where they are. They're just laying down the fire. This is going to be so tough for the Exiles. This might just be Unique's win right here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It of course depends on whether or not Panda can get that res in on MG. So we've seen some great grenades being thrown all the way across. And of course now The zone is also closing in. The players really need to start making their way up. Loads of smokes, of course, now coming out. Everyone trying to smoke it up as they make their way up in towards that zone. Let's see what is going to happen. Who will get those last few shots in? Oh,
that is it. Exiles just absolutely erased. Unique going to be able to take that one. A nice set of kills for them going forward there. And Exiles is actually going to be pretty happy with their performance so far. I mean, they placed brilliantly in the first match and brilliantly up here in the second one as well. Of course, Unique, GG well played, of course, taking that chicken dinner. Wow, that was an interesting final zone right there.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, looking at the kill feed there, you can see where the teams have placed. So we got Limit Africa in 4th place. We've got the players there from Outlaws Gaming in 5th place. We got the Violets in 6th. We got the team from Empire in 7th. We've got Tesso Gang in 8th place, I assume that is. We got God Gaming in 9th. We got the players from Phoenix, of course, they're in 10th place. We got the Anarchy Angels finishing off in 11th place. Then, of course, we've got the team there from Zambian company. I can't remember which one this is. I think it might be in-game. I'm not 100% sure.
One of them.
No, that's not in-game. My bad.
It's
one of them. Oh, that's Ink. There we go. Ink finishing up in 12th place. Then, of course, we've got the Eaters finishing in 13th. We've got the Escapades then also finishing up in 14th place. And we've got Urwa finishing up in 15th place. So that was quite the matchup. And a very interesting way to see the match finish there.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a difficult spot there for Exiles to be in, and ultimately Unique going to capitalize on their position and, ultimately take that chicken dinner. So without further ado, we will go straight into a break, and I guess we'll see you in a bit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Right, we've got Mr. Lean here with me again. How's it, Patchy? All right, yeah. So we're getting ready for our second round. We, of course, we have the same teams in the lobby once again. We're going back to Erangel. Hopefully, we've got a slightly different flight path this time to see where the teams are going to end up, and maybe, hopefully, it'll change things up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure if Patchy's link up is working.
Yeah, I have no idea.
There we go. Yeah, you're working, Patchy. You're working.
Okay.
There we go.
If it's fixed, you guys should be able to hear me and we'll be able to jump into this. Hey, look, I'm back. What do you know? We out here, boys. All right, cool. So we're going to be jumping in pretty soon towards the game. And of course, if you've been following on, which I suggest you do if you haven't, you check out the previous games. It's been pretty spicy. We had a nice, great start with that first map. Some amazing aggression coming in pretty much from start to finish. Crazy final zone. In the second map, similar thing. We didn't see the early aggression so much, but we did see some very spicy stuff going on in that final zone. And well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited to get into this next one here to see if we get that continuing. Obviously, of course, on your screen here you can see the standings for the monthly final, the match 1 right there. You can see all that stuff going on. And well, it's on your screen there. We got Unique up at the top there with 30 points in total and 10 kills. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, this is of course not the we're busy watching just the first match.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Potentially that is what we might have when we get closer to our monthly final. But of course, as you mentioned, Unique there in first place. We got the Exiles sitting in second place. We got Endgame in third with 18 points. Yeah, pretty good count so far. And then of course we got the Outlaws. They're in fourth. Empire Gaming in fifth place. Limit Africa sitting in sixth place. We've got the Violets in seventh. Also have the players there from Testo Gang up in eighth place. We've got God Gaming in ninth place. And then, of course, the Anarchy Angels there in 10th. So that's, of course, a bit of a tie there between Testo, God Gaming, and the Anarchy Angels. They're all tied basically in eighth place.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you look at the kill points. And, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put some. They're gonna have to put some more points on the board if they want to get their way up there. And of course, you can see on your screen there, a lot of other teams are going to be wanting to put themselves on the board as well. You know, you never want to be left down there towards the bottom of the scoreboard. So yeah, you're gonna have to put some more points on the board. You know, you want to see that happen. You're gonna see some competitive stuff going on. You know, get some more points in there is all the rage. It's the way you play the game. And yeah, let's see if we can get some kills going for them. Otherwise, we're going to see. The thing is, like at this point, we're seeing teams dominating the match right now. We're seeing like Unique sitting at the top. Then we're seeing Exiles. They're repeatedly sitting at the top. Here, stop laughing at me. we're seeing the same teams dominate here, and well, that always means that yeah, we might have to work on some things here and there. So yeah, hopefully, we're going to be getting straight into this game. You can see the flight path going all the way there from the southwest all the way up to Stalba, which is very interesting. That's going to include quite a large portion of that map, but it's going to exclude the entirety of that military base and the entirety of that eastern portion of the map as well. So some players are going to have to go on a bit of a hike if they want to get up in there.
Yeah, and hopefully this round we'll see some quicker rotations there from the teams, because we did have a few teams, you know, a little bit slow with the rotations, and of course, you know, succumbing to the blue zone, that puts them at quite a disadvantage. You know, really like to see those teams make it all the way up in towards zone, get involved, get in there, get those fights going. Otherwise, it is fairly frustrating for the team themselves, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna see where these teams get up into. They want to get dropping, of course. See if they go on a little bit of an expedition for that extra loot, like we've seen them do in the past couple of rounds. Otherwise, we'll just see the normal sort of hotspots getting dropped into. You've got a team heading in towards George, of course. Pachinki, the rest of them are going to be seeing some, you know, some traffic, as it were. Some traffic as per usual. Rodzok, everyone going to be dropping down there and getting that loot on. Let's see if we're going to see any early aggression as we saw in the first round, or if the teams are going to be a little bit more passive. Obviously, with a lot of teams wanting to put themselves on the board, they might just want to play a little bit less aggressive and maybe get some more placement points going for themselves.
Yeah, well, there is another potential for a fight, of course, right over here in school, where we've got the players there from Tester Gang and, of course, the players there from the Escapades just over at the apartment side. So we'll see how that goes, how that whole situation develops. And, of course, as you saw on the map there, we've got quite a nice spread of teams, a big majority of them, already in zone, seeing that the zone has spawned pretty central for this map.
Yeah,
so
that's
we'll
always...
see what happens.
It's always interesting to see that, because what that usually does is, unlike the zones that force players to rotate, which we see quite a lot, and it really throws a lot of teams off, the zones that spawn like right on top, sometimes it sort of breeds a bit of complacency in teams, because they're like, we're in the zone already, we Gucci, we out here, we don't have to move. And what that means is, like, oftentimes you get two sides of the coin, right? You get a bunch of teams that are sitting in the center of the zone already. They've looted up, they're sitting there and they're like, we're fine, we don't really have to move. And then you get the other side, which is like the teams that are not in the center of the zone. They might just want to go and claim that spot for themselves. So they start rotating up, they start moving in, they start clearing up buildings, and that can sort of create a little bit of chaos. A little bit of pressure, maybe. And then the other thing that we don't see very often, but that might pop up, is the teams that are in the zone already, in the middle of the zone. They get themselves looted up, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to sit around. That ain't the game. So we're just going to start going. And they start moving, they start getting fights, and they start making some things happen. So we'll see what we see if that comes out for any of these teams here. They decide to get aggressive. We'll see. We will see. We will see.
Indeed, we will. And of course, you can see now the Tester Gang just keeping a quick eye there on the players, of course, from the Escapades, seeing if they can spot any potential shots coming their way. Now, we're hoping for those shots. We're hoping for this early game action. And of course, those two teams being the two teams that are really, really close together. So there's a lot of potential for the early game fighting happening, of course, right here in front of our eyes. So let's hope for the best and see, maybe that will be the case.
Yeah, right now we've got a huge cluster of teams sitting in towards the center point of that zone, and that owes to the fact that all the teams, they want a piece of that action. They're like, yeah, we also want to get into the middle of this zone, give ourselves a good shot, and well, that means we're going to be getting up a little bit too close for comfort. We're going to be pressuring you for the spot, seeing if we can get any picks, get any openings. That's a lot of the time what teams are looking for, because you never want to attack head on. This is sort of like not only advice for playing, but like just advice overall in general. Like, you never want to attack someone on equal ground, right? Like if you're attacking someone on equal ground, like, you're already putting yourself in a bad spot. You always want to attack someone who is at a disadvantage. You always want to be in the best position possible before you get in there. So that's what all the teams are looking for. They're looking for the opening. They're looking for a way to get that advantage in. If you can get a pick, if you can get a knock somewhere, you can get a foot in the door, that'll give you the go signal to get in and get aggressive and start taking the fight. So that's what the teams are looking for. They're looking for an opening. They're looking for something to give them that go signal.
Yeah, and of course, if the opportunity doesn't present itself, you always have the power to create that position or that advantage for yourself, depending on how well you know the map and how you can rotate or position yourself to get that advantage that you want before taking on the teams. And of course, you can see, like we were talking about now, we've got quite a few teams in zone. A lot of them with no actual need to start rotating up just yet. So we'll see whether or not we're going to see those teams moving up, of course. And I'm curious to see also what the players there from Endgame are going to do. Are they going to start moving in? They also pretty much right there on the edge of zone. Also, the Yeeters up in Saverny there. Yet again, they don't have that far. They are partially kind of maybe in zone. But this also is what kind of sparks that Hunter team.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you can always have the power to create the opportunities for yourself, but that sort of gives you the set of questions that you need to ask. It's like, do we see an opportunity presenting itself? If the answer is no, then you ask the next question. You say, okay, can we make an opportunity happen? If the answer to that is no, then you need to make a decision whether you want to stay or leave. and usually leaving is a decent option. If you can't make a fight happen and there's a team close by, chances are they're also looking for an opportunity in you, and if they see it, they'll take it, or they'll make one of their own if they feel confident in doing so. So usually if you don't feel confident taking a fight, you should probably get out, move yourself to a better spot, look at reapproaching the situation in a way that you feel more comfortable with in taking some sort of advantage for yourself. So, this is the sort of the line of questioning that needs to be running through your head at the moment, just trying to get in those hits, getting the spots, because if you start getting idle, if stuff starts to become static, you not only open yourself up, but you're putting yourself in a bad spot. Now, luckily for these players and teams, the zone is right on top of them, so they don't have to rotate. The pressure of the blue zone isn't there, but that doesn't mean that the pressure isn't there at all. There's still teams out here, there's still teams trying to get in, still teams trying to get into the middle, and as soon as that first blue zone closes and we get the new zone chosen, they're going to have to start moving.
Yeah, no, definitely true. And I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, we see a bit of a shift in the zone. Normally, we hope for the zone to move up into a specific direction. Then, of course, it goes the other way. So we've got a pretty central zone. There's not much else to wish for here. So it's pretty much we're open to anything. I'm curious to see what the zone is going to do, which way around it's going to go, because definitely it will spark that movement that you were talking about. See, where these teams are going to go towards. Are they going to start getting more aggressive, or are they going to start trying positions out? Because that's definitely something that we need. And as you can see also on the map down over in Ferry Pier, we've got the players there from the Violets and, of course, God Gaming very, very close together. Just waiting now if, whether or not we're going to see any shots. And here they come. God Gaming moving up. We've got the Violets just up ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there is still a possibility that we might see the zone hit the south all the way to the military base. That is not off the cards. And we've seen crazy stuff happen before. It doesn't happen too often. But, I mean, the chance is there. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I'd love to see that, because that would really, really throw these teams for a curveball. And that's actually what I like, because curveballs really, really test the teams to the fullest extent, and really allow those star players to shine and star teams to shine. Because your ability to perform under that sort of pressure, that sort of chaos is really, really something special to see. So I'm always hoping for it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. But right now, you can see Violet just trying to take some pot shots over there as the team retreats. But so far, we still have 14 teams, 51 players on the board, and nothing crazy happening here in the beginning of this map.
Yeah. I mean, so hopefully we're going to see a lot more aggression and, fights happening later on. Aside from the map kind of forcing that to happen, the ideal would be to see the teams actually position themselves, once again, in such a way that we can see those fights happening without relying on the zone to kind of force that into happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were talking just now earlier about, creating opportunities. And, that is sort of what we like to see when it comes to playing this game at its best. If you want to get better, it's about doing that. It's about not waiting for that blue zone, because everyone else is waiting for the blue zone. Everyone else is waiting for that blue zone to force them in to do something. If you're the one who's making the opportunities, you have the chance to control how it happens. If you let the blue zone do it, it's going to be random. It's going to be odd. And, that random element, I always talk about this, you need to minimize it as much as possible. Because the random element is not the way to win. It can get you to win, and it can work for you, but it's not a guarantee. And you always want to have the best chances at winning, which means you want to control as many elements of the game as possible. And if you can control when the fights happen, if you can control where they happen, how they happen, you have a great, great, great position, a great advantage. So you want to be the one to make the fights happen. You do not want to let the blue zone do it for you, because then it's a 50-50, sometimes not even. Sometimes you could just get completely taken for a wipe. And a lot of players I see complain like, we were just unlucky. But you don't even have to let luck be the decider. Just toss luck out the window, make your own things happen, put yourself in a good position, take the fights and win. If you let luck choose it for you, then you could get clapped in the face.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. And I mean, we are yet to see, the players really start utilizing that. And of course, here we've got the Anarchy Angels just putting the hits up in towards Phoenix. But we've seen now from watching what, the Umzansi League and how these teams have been performing over the, in the first round that we had for Umzansi, is there's a lot of aggression. And that is something that we're looking for in the Inkosi, is to see the teams show us that aggression, And then, of course, bring that up into the Mzansi League, because that's at the end, that's where these teams are heading towards. And the best place to start working on that kind of aggression is already here, right on, at this level on the Inkosi. Get that aggression, get everything going, make waves, and then, just try and upset everyone from there. I mean, because that's at the end of the day what you want to do. You want to ruin people's day in a good sense.
Yeah, I mean...
and a double drop.
Yeah, not to say that the element of luck is not a thing. As you could see, it's Archer. Luck can happen, and it definitely does. You can't control everything about the game. That would be relatively difficult, if not impossible. It's more a case of you just want to control as many as possible. Right now, well, you can see this team right here just chilling unique, I believe, on these drops. Like, we out here, we good. We're going to just take this and leave. So they've gotten themselves a nice little upgrade here moving in. But you can see that zone moving all the way towards the western side, going to move the teams in. Most of the teams sitting pretty comfortably still inside there. So they don't really have any motivation to move right now. And so it's really going to come down to which team takes the initiative to mold and shape how the rest of these zones go.
Yeah, we also haven't seen any movement really between the players there from Testo Gang and, of course, that team right over in the apartments, that being the Escapades. They are still in the same position where we saw them in the beginning of the match. They haven't rotated at all. I don't think we've really seen many shots, really happening in that region. So that is a perfect example of when it's time to move.
Yeah.
If nothing's happening, get in your vehicle and take out both of those teams, because they, it's too passive. There's nothing happening. If you don't see the shots, get out. If you can't find the angle, either try and make it. If you can't, okay, great. Then that's your cue. It's time to leave. Move up to another position.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, you could just sit in there and hope that you don't get found out. But I mean, the chances are somebody's going to come past, somebody's going to spot you. And if that team that happens to spot you is one that's aggressive or knows that you're in that spot, they could just be like, yeah, we're feeling this one. Let's just make an assault on the place where you're camping and see if we can take you out. Yeah. And, time and time again, we've seen a lot where teams feel safe inside a building. They're like, haha, we have cover, we're good. And then a team just gets super aggressive, jumps them, gets in there and takes them all out. And it's like, wow, they just got straight up wiped by a team that just walked into the building and took them out. It happens a lot, more often than people think. And if teams got more aggressive, that would happen more, especially if some teams continue to play passively.
Yeah, and we've got the players, of course, now from Uruguay. They moving up over towards God Gaming, and it seems like Shanu is really trying to turn up that aggression side. They are moving up into the building, so hopefully, the aggression here pays off for them, because they're really trying to move in. You can see God Gaming now forced to kind of just hide up in behind some spots there, not really being able to move up all that much. And of course, we got two players in this compound, and of course, we got two more in the compound right next to them. And so far, it's been an even trade-off. We got one of the players from God Gaming getting knocked. Up comes the team. They're now moving in. Oh, beautiful shots there from Kaido. Some more shots coming in. Down he goes now. So we are down to two players, of course, now for the Uruguays. And down to one or two players there for the team, of course, now from God Gaming. So we'll see now whether or not they can capitalize on that, move in, get those shots going, because it's going to be a really, really tough one. Oh, there we go. Ryzen getting a quick knock. Oh, see, now that's great. He's the last one left. He knocks the player out and then moves. He doesn't stick around to wait to see what's going to happen. He's like, I better get out of here. Let me create the situation in which I can leave. And he did exactly that. That was fantastic. Beautifully done there.
Yeah, that's a classic example of I'm in danger and just leaving.
Yes.
At least he's going to escape with his life. He has the chance of throwing a spanner into the works if he manages to make it into late game. He's giving himself a decent chance if he can sneak his way up. We've seen it happen. We've seen solo players get right up into the final zone and get taken out. But I mean, a solo player getting your team into third place is a great spot to be in, considering you would have been wiped out earlier. So, a nice little retreat there, giving his team a little bit of a better chance than they had after getting flushed out. But I mean, that's an example of a team just getting flushed out of the house that they were just sitting in. So, We'll see if that continues. You can see most of the teams still mostly within the zone. Nothing too crazy happening. It's been a relatively uncrazy set of zones that we've gotten here in this match. Unfortunately, maybe it gives a chance for players to relax a little bit more, just take a bit more of a breather in terms of not having to go anywhere and just play around the map a little bit more. We've seen them being tossed around by the zone before, so they're maybe thankful for a little bit of this breathing room. But in the meantime, Exile's going to be putting some hits in as the rest of the teams get their way in towards that zone.
Yeah, so at least we got some action happening on the map, and of course we've got the players, as you can see, the team here from Inc. They are right there, right next to the players, of course, just on the side there, that being the players there from Unique Elite. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen. Unique Elite, of course, sitting over towards the northwestern side. Everyone still at the moment kind of weighing everything up, seeing what's happening. Is it worth pushing in? Should we try it? Should we not try it? But of course, on all the way on the southern side of the map, we've got the players there from Empire now just moving up over towards the east. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not they're going to try and actually get those hits in. And of course, now the players still here, the ones there from Unique, as I mentioned, of course, the players from Inc., they are just positioned off on the side. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe they'll turn up the aggression, but in the meantime, Empire now just moving up. And then, of course, you got the Eaters. They left with their last one, Womb Raider. The last one to defend for the team there from Eaters. So, Shroud versus Bow and... so Shroud and Bow versus Womb Raider. So, let's see. Maybe they'll be able to pull this one off.
Yeah, we'll see if the Raider can raid these guys or if these guys will be able to take him down and end his room raiding days. We'll see. Right now, Emp looking pretty decent. Bo going to be moving up to try and revive some teammates, which will put them in a much better position going forward if they manage to do that. Right now, we're just waiting to see if the team can move up here, put some shots in. Oh,
up comes Womb Raider. Oh, quick hit. There we go. So a few players, of course, now getting taken down. Womb Raider also getting taken down. Quick play there. But of course, now if we move up over towards the northeastern side of the map, it is also getting pretty crowded there. As you can see, Unique, of course, now just tapping away a quick few shots. We've got the Exiles also moving in. They just took out the players there, of course. That being the one from Urua. Urua getting sent back into the lobby. So we are down to 12 teams now. And the numbers are going down bit by bit. There you can see now, of course, we're down to 37 players. Now just waiting to see what's going to happen. We've got the team, of course, from God Gaming all the way on the side. Unique right over here in the thick of it. Ooh, a few teams right there. So this is, once again, potential for some pretty good shots.
Yeah, right now, all the fact that there's so many players coming in from the same side is going to mean that there's going to be lots of fights, lots of people going to be taken out right here. 36 players, that's about to dip pretty low, I think, at least as we head in towards that final zone, getting closer and closer to that end game at the moment of this map. All these teams trying to hang on, and that seems to be the whole case in the entirety of the match. All the teams just trying to hang on, but as we've been saying and as we've been talking about for quite some time, that's not really needed in terms of how this whole match could have been played out. But in any case, they're going to be doing that now. Of course, everyone wanting to hang on to their spots as best as possible, get themselves the points on the board as they would want. And right now, we're going to see if this fight happens along the trench here. You can see these two teams up just close to one another here. And actually, some more teams rolling up at the moment. Going to maybe throw a bit of a spanner in the works.
Yeah, hopefully that is the case. But of course, you can see the team there from Phoenix now putting a few hits into Escapades up in the kill feed. And of course, now we've got the players there from the Anarchy Angels just rushing up over towards Unique. You see the shots just going in. Sprinkles and Muffin both getting knocked out. We've got Tigress and Rogue Baby in. Well, the team will be coming in. I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry, got confused in my own words. But up they come, moves. Oh! Up comes the Gren, takes them out.
Yeah,
the whole team there from the Anarchy Angels getting taken out by Unique there. Well freaking done. Beautiful place grenade.
That's a slam dunk right there. Just absolutely stomping them out of existence. Straight back to the lobby. Going to be clearing that straight off the board. Now Unique in a decent position. They could maybe hold on to this trench. You could see the team there from, I believe that is Endgame, all the way at the end, the other end of the trench there. They could potentially put up a bit of a fight. They have smoked things off to try and give themselves a good chance. But Kaish is here. He could put some fire down. On the other side, you can see in the kill feed, Exiles putting in a decent set of kills there.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see, will Unique be able to defend the trenches here? Will they get those shots in? But in the meantime, also, we have the Escapades now moving up over towards the team there from the Testo gang. So finally, they've moved out of this spot. Both teams, of course, now moving up. They are still alive, still together. And Unique now also getting ready to rotate up in towards zone. Blue zone now making its way in. So the teams have no other choice other than rotating up. And this is the point where we can see those established teams already in the zone taking full advantage of the players, of course, now making their way up into that zone. So I think this is we're definitely going to see the numbers really start dropping down. Yeah,
especially if Kaish keeps doing some airtime flip tricks with his vehicle there, we might just see him getting thrown outside of the map pretty quickly. Right now we have 8 teams and 21 players left alive as everyone's trying to get in towards the zone. You can see Ryzen moving up. He's going to get the perfect timing there, but he might just be caught out. He's taking the fight. He's actually going to win it as well. Very clean coming out from him, but there's still Safraz camping up here towards the hill, going to try and catch some players out. Meanwhile, lots of kills going off in the kill feed there. For Safran getting pushed. Safraz trying to come and help his friend out here. Gonna pick him back up. But right now, there's a lot of kills happening, just like we said it would. We have 6 teams, 15 players, and that's about to continue dropping pretty soon as this zone gets ever smaller.
Yeah, and you can see, of course, the Exiles now moving up on the players there from endgame, just up ahead. Unique also not too far away, right there on the edge of zone. So everyone now just battling it out in the smokes here. Shots, of course, flying up in all directions. So you got endgame, as you can see right here with the Exiles. The Exiles down to 3 players. We also have Rolex there from Empire just over towards the western edge. And then, of course, we have some more action up on the hill. Phoenix just tapping away a few shots, as you can see in the gill feed there. Empire just moving in and getting those shots in as well. That, of course, going straight over towards the players there from Unique. So now let's see. We are down to our last 5 teams, 11 players remaining. Who is going to get the clutch play of this match? Because, oh man, this is a really tough one. It's fairly difficult to say which team will be able to get it because there's so many challenging factors happening right here. But, of course, now you can see the shots just flying up there from endgame.
Yeah, this is going to be clapping Phoenix really hard, leaving us with 3 teams left alive. It is endgame. It is Exiles, who are also putting some hits in. They've managed to do a really good job every single map of just fragging out, getting to the top of that leaderboard. So they've been doing an absolutely stellar performance time and time again, and they're looking to keep that up. I mean, they've made top 3 100%, but they're looking to keep pushing that one as best they can. And Endgame under a little bit of pressure here. They're going to be hit very hard. Endgame trying to fire back, but it's going to be the Exiles to absolutely just exile them straight back to the lobby. We're left with our last 2 teams. It's Unique and the Exiles left on the map. Yeah. So let's see. I mean, it's 2 versus 2 for this final one. Zane, of course, getting knocked out. Unique rotating up right over towards his position. You can see them taking quite a bit of damage. Will they get the vehicle to pop? No, I don't know. Well, there we go. 1 down. Hawk is now, of course, the last one left for Unique. So this is going to be a very tough one. This is it.
Oh, some great shooting.
Yeah, and it's done. There it is.
Oh!
Exiles are going to be putting themselves pretty
in second
high
place
up there. But it looks... Oh, wow. Did Unique actually get that? It looked like he does.
Yeah, they got it.
He actually got it. Wow. I mean, that's just insane. I did not expect that at all. As you can tell, I definitely did not see that one coming. But evidently, it looks like Unique going to be coming out on top of that one. Just absolutely. I thought it was a suicide mission, but apparently it worked out for them. They got the kills.
Yeah.
And, well, with 5 kills on Hawk and 5 kills with the rest of the team there, they're going to be putting themselves right up there in that chicken dinner spot, followed closely by the Exiles, who I feel have been cheated out of that win. It looked like it was theirs, but it wasn't. GG up there, I guess.
Yeah, that was a crazy play. I mean, because we got Unique finishing off on 10. We got the Exiles finishing their play, of course, they're on 12 kills. The players there from Endgame finishing off on 3. We got Empire finishing off on 7 kills. We got Phoenix on 5. We got the Escapades finishing off on 1 in 6th place. Then, of course, the players there from God Gaming, as you can see, finishing with 5 kills in 7th place. Then, of course, we got the players there from sorry, we're still trying to get used to the names here, guys. So Testo Gang finishing their play up in 8th place, 0 kills. Then also the players there from Inc finishing off in 9th place. We've got the Violets finishing in 10th place. The Anarchy Angels in 11th place. We've got the Outlaw Gaming Easy in 12th place. Then, of course, the players there from Urwa finishing in 13th. And then, of course, last but not least, we've got the players also there from the Yeeters up in 14th place. So, well, at least Womb Raider managed to get that 1 kill in for the team there. So I guess it's not all that bad, but yeah, it's very unfortunate when you are the first team to get sent back into the lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not the position you want to be in, but we've seen teams get sent out first and come back winning the chicken dinner right after that for like 3 times in a row. It's possible to come back, you know, as long as you don't let it discourage you, as long as you keep pushing, as long as you keep doing your best, you know, you can definitely put some more points on the board. You can get yourself up there. It's not the end for you. In any case, we saw a very, very spicy game overall from beginning to end. The beginning started out a little bit slow, but ultimately we ended up with a very, very spicy finish and a very surprising one, for me at least.
Yeah.
But with that all said and done, I guess we're going to head to another break before we get into the final one for the evening. So we'll see you guys in a bit.
What's up, guys? All right, so we are getting ready for our third and final round, or third and final match for round 2. So, yeah, we've got some interesting things hopefully coming in the next match. We've seen some pretty crazy plays in the previous 2 matches for this round, of course, and hopefully that will continue into this next one. The top 8 teams from today, of course, moving over into, well, I think it's the top 8 teams. Yeah, top 8 teams moving up into the monthly final, 8 or 16, something like that. I forgot. But yeah, the top teams, of course, moving up into the monthly final, in which they can, of course, then qualify for Mzansi. So hopefully we'll see some crazy action happening in this last one. This is the last chance that the teams have to, of course, make a bit of a difference to the leaderboard there. So we're just trying to see if Patchy is with us. Are you here, Patchy? All right, so while we wait for Patchy, let's, of course, quickly jump into the standings for the matches so far. So as you can see there, match 2, we've got the players there from Unique Elite. Once again, getting that one, we've got the Exiles sitting on 27 points. We've got Empire Gaming sitting on 17 in 3rd place. Endgaming in 4th with 15. We've got Phoenix Prodigy in 5th there with 14 points. God Gaming in 6th with 12 points. We've got the Escapades in 7th with 9. Testo Gang in 8th place. Then, of course, we've got Ink and Urwa sitting there in 9th and 10th place. So some pretty good points there. As you can see, we've got a few teams, of course, standing out quite a bit. So, yeah, there's definitely some work for the teams. Then, of course, as we move up into our second page there, we've got the Violets sitting in 11th place with 4 points. Anarchy Angels in 12th place with 3 points. The Outlaws Gaming team in 13th with 2 points. And, of course, we've got the Heaters also there in 14th place with 2 points. And, yeah, we don't have any points there for Limit Africa, Royal Esports, or any of the other teams. So, yeah, there we have it. Our overall standings, of course, Unique getting 2 chicken dinners, 60 points in total. Wow. Exiles sitting on 49 points in 2nd. Endgaming, of course, in 3rd place. They with 33 points. Then, of course, we got Empire with 30 points. God Gaming as well as Phoenix Prodigy. Both teams on 18 points in 5th and 6th place, respectively. Got the Outlaws Gaming team, of course, in 7th. With 16, as well as the Violets also on 16 points. And then, of course, we got Limit Africa and Testo Gang sitting there on 12 points. So, yeah, very interesting standings that we've got so far. And we do have the match underway. And Patchy is back.
Yay. Yeah, so I'm here. I don't know. I have some interesting things. I really want to go back and just rewatch the last couple of matches because Exiles have been like on the precipice of taking so many matches, and Unique have just
managed to get those hits. There goes Patchy again. Oh, see, so Mr. Lean having some technical issues there today, but hey, well, it is what it is. So now we're just waiting to go up into the match, seeing that everything is already underway. We had quite an interesting flight path, as you can see there, coming all the way from Stalba, heading over towards the western side of the map. And we got a few teams now making their way up in towards school, pushing in right towards there. We got the players, of course, there from Limit Africa, of course, touching down in Yasnaya. And I said, of course, quite a few times there. And then also we have a few teams over in Yasnaya. So some interesting action about to happen on the map here. We see the players there, of course. Once again, I go with, of course, Anarchy Angels, putting some hits right into the team there from Urwa. So, yeah, some nice early game action. And we'll see what happens. And, of course, the players here from Testo Gang putting those hits into the Yeeters. You can see Shakes just down here. Oh, there we go. Shots flying up. Up comes Flight. He puts the head into Havoc. Let's see, will Shakes get it done? He's moving in. Ooh, shot off the head. Shot after shot off the head. I can't speak today. Whatever, don't mind me. All right, so Patchy is really struggling today. It's okay, Patchy, it's the last one. Just shout up, we'll jump up and down when you're ready. But in the meantime, we've got the Testo Gang, of course, getting a beautiful few hits here. And up comes the players there from the Anarchy Angels. You can see we also have the team there from Urwa right there with them. Muffin on the prowl once again, trying to get those heads in. Will Muffin get that shot? Player right, of course, right in front of her. Oh, yes, come on. You can do it. Oh, it's going to be a fist fight. Well, a fist fight versus an empty mag. I didn't go seek. Only here on PUBG. Who will get it? Will Muffin land that finishing blow? Yes, Muffin gets the head in. So, yeah, Shinu goes down. We still got Shanu left. So, a few more hits to come. Let's see what will happen. Rogue Baby, of course, getting knocked out in the process. As you can see, the players there moving up. So there's 2 players left for the Urwa team. That, of course, being Genos and Shanu. Ooh, some nice hits coming in with the DP28. Quick thirsting on Rogue Baby. So it is now a 3v3. Genos going for it. Once again, let's see, will they get some more shots coming in? Muffin moving up, landing that head right on Genos. The Muffin really out for the blood today. Some great playing coming in there from Muffin's side today, of course. So let's see how this is going to go. Will they get those last few hits in? Will Shanu be able to get it? Muffin just lying in wait, waiting to see what's going to happen. We also have Deadshot. Oh, they come moving in. Oh, shot. Muffin in a bit of danger. Up comes Shanu. Takes Muffin down. Up comes Tigress. Puts the hit in. Well done. So fortunately for the Anarchy Angels, the last player there for the Urwa team is nowhere near the remainder of the team. So of course now they can get those reses going. Muffin being the first one about to get raised up. Oh, there we go. Nice thirsting as well. So quite a few teams are still on the map. We've got 13 teams, 46 players still alive. So there's a lot of potential for some crazy shots, of course, now to come in. Now, let's see, will Genos survive this as Tigress moves up? No, down they go. So quick thirsting now. The Anarchy Angel sitting already on 3 kills. And you can see we see a few more kills up in the kill feed as well. So that definitely being the action over in Pochinki, where we've got the team there from Inc. now moving up. So Zambi being the last one left, the Exiles taking out the remainder of the players. So let's see how far Zambi will get. I don't see any weapons aside from a pistol on Zambi. So this is him now running for his life. Will Zambi make it? No idea. Up comes the shots and down he goes. 12 teams left. The Exiles out for blood once again. As you can see, they're already sitting on their 4 kills. So no one else with them in Pochinki to really contest the position there. So, yeah, for them, things have gone fairly smoothly so far. And as, of course, as you saw on the map there, just ever so quickly, we still have those 2 teams over in the school area that, of course, being the players there from Testo Gang. And, of course, the team still from the Escapades. And 2 more teams, 2 more groups of teams. We've got Deadshot now moving up, pushing in towards the Anarchy Angels. Oh, there we go. Down goes Deadshot. Muffin landing that finishing blow. And then, of course, we got the players there from Endgame and 1 more team, that being the team from God Gaming. There we go. Pablo now making his way up. Let's see, will we see some action from them? And I don't know what happened to Patchy. Patchy, are you there? No. Yeah. Patchy's still struggling. All right, so I can hear Patchy on my side, but unfortunately we can't get Patchy into the call just yet. But well, yeah. Well, Patchy, you can just root for the teams. So in the meantime, the players here from God Gaming still making their way around. Up they come. Ooh. So in-game, as you can see, of course, just over to the eastern side there. So it'd be interesting if these players start making that push. I'm wondering if whether or not the team here from God Gaming is going to move up, or we're going to see the team there from Endgame make their way over towards them. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one We've got a few players waiting up on the roof. So you can see Nemesis right there up on the roof. Ayad just down below. Venom behind them, and CR7 off to the side. And of course, the players here from God Gaming still on a full squad as well. Just trying to figure out which approach they're going to take. Are they going to rotate out? Are they going to stay around and try and get some hits in? It'll definitely be an interesting one. So let's see how this unfolds. Of course, now the red zone also coming in, and I've got the team here from the Outlaws Gaming caught out in the blue zone all the way over in Primorsk. So they've got quite some distance to cover to make their way up into wood zone. But in the meantime, we've got quite a few teams already just sitting fairly comfortable in zone. Still waiting for our last 4 teams now to start making their way up. That, of course, being the players there from, the team from Phoenix Prodigy, who are just about to come in towards zone. We're also waiting for the team from Empire, the players over here from Outlaws Gaming, and then also the Violets. And still not a lot of change over in the school area. We've got the Escapades and the team there from the Testo Gang. So again, we have a bit of a passive play between those teams in that area. It's the second match in a row that we've actually seen them in that spot. And yeah, once again, not a lot of change. So let's see now, will the players here from the Outlaw Gaming team be able to make it all the way up into a zone successfully? They are still in the first phase, the first zone. So the blue does not do that much damage just yet. So there is some hope for them. Let's see what they'll be able to do with it.
What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's every time I connect, it's like it just pops up, and then the site sort of just crashes. I don't know. Okay.
All right, so there you can see the map. Benchy, are you with us? Let's test it out once again.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so.
Yes, you are back. We can hear you in game. All right, so Phoenix now making their way up, and they're about to pull up right behind the players there from the Anarchy Angels. So, yeah, maybe they'll get some hits in, and we still have the players there from Endgame, of course, as well as the team from God Gaming, just over towards the south, still holding up in North George. Over towards the south, holding up, that makes no sense. Over towards the north, in North George. There we go. That makes more sense. No, Patchy died again. No, Patchy. All right, so we've got Patchy talking to himself. Well, I can hear him, you guys can't hear him, so it's quite funny. But anyway, so we're waiting for these teams now to start making their way up. We've got the team from Phoenix, as you can see, of course, holding up in the hospital here. And Testo Gang and the players from the Escapades, they are still in the same spot. They have not moved. They're having a bit of a standoff there, as you can see right there on the map. Not a lot of change between those teams. We of course, see the players there from the Violets as well as Empire managing to make it up in towards the safe area. Now let's see, will they continue on towards the map itself and hopefully try and push up into some teams there. We've got some players now moving up to the drop. Up comes Tigress going up for the drop. Gets some nice loot in there. We got the Mark 14 and some level 3 goodies. So a really, really good find. Unfortunately for Tigress, no one there to really put in shots while she's busy getting that loot going. As you can see also, we've got the players there from Limit Africa all the way up in Severny. They might be making their way up towards the drop in the water. But in the meantime, the Escapades and the Testo Gang still holding up in this position. No change really between the players there. We saw a few shots going back and forth. Nothing crazy happening. The Escapades still on a full squad. I would have expected them to have rotated out probably about 10 minutes ago. But hey, here they are. They are still there. And the blue zone is definitely going to force them to start rotating up But in the meantime, we've got the Empire team and, of course, the Violets making their way up. The Exiles also just rotating through the area here, making their way up in towards zone. As you can see, all the teams now moving up. We've got Limit Africa there, moving up in towards the central part of the zone. We've got to drop way off in the water there. So this is the part where the shots might start happening, depending, of course, on where these teams rotate towards. And almost nearly half the zone is in the water, so there's not a lot of playable area left. Literally half the zone is gone. So I think this is definitely going to open up for some interesting things. And let's see what happens. The Violets, of course, just getting some more loot before making their final push into that zone. It feels like they've been traveling for quite some time. They actually have made their rotation all the way from the south. And you can see in the kill feed there, once again now, the Exiles putting those hits in towards the team there from the Tester gang as they finally decide to leave the area, only to be taken down and sent back into the lobby. So finally, we have some closure on that situation. The players getting sent back. And several more teams still making their way around. Empire, of course, now moving up just on the side here. They are fairly close to the Violets. We have rotating up in towards the general direction of Saverni there. We'll see still where they're going to go, whether or not we're going to see any shots flying up towards those teams. And the last few stragglers now just busy making their way up, trying to get into the zone before the blue zone finishes and closes in all the way. So let's see what is going to happen. Here we go. So the Violets now moving in. They are just on the outside of, well, the outskirts of Saverni. The zone is about to shift. There we go. Zone shifting up. And of course now going in even more towards the middle. We've got the shooting range in the surrounding area there, as you can see. So all the teams now pretty much need to start making their way up into that zone. The Outlaws, of course, making the first push into the zone. Exiles not too far behind them. And of course, also we've got the Anarchy Angels, and we've got a few shots now flying up from the Violets over towards the Escapades. Empire also just towards the southern region there. So let's see, will the Violets be able to put any more shots into the Escapades, as they, of course, now also try and make their rotation up in towards that zone. We've got only 3 teams on the outside.
I think I'm back, maybe.
Yes, you are back, Petchy.
Yeah, all right, cool. So we've got lots of teams up towards the north. They're trying to get in towards that zone super quick. I've got lots and lots and lots to say, and I haven't been able to say it for so long, and now I'm here. Woo! All right, so we've got 10 teams. We've got 38 players left on the board. Everyone's trying to make their way up into zone, and this is one of the most northern zones we've seen in quite some time. You know, like most of them have been pretty centralized, and a little bit up north, a little bit down south, but this one's like all the way up towards the north, and all the teams now moving their way in as quickly as possible. But I mean, this is a small space to have 10 teams and 38 players trying to reside. They've got a lot of work to do because a lot of players need to be kicked out. We have to have one team remaining. One team can win this one, and they're all going to squish up in towards this little zone here.
Yeah, and we already see a bit of action there in the kill feed. The players, of course, from, I said it again, the Outlaws Gaming team getting hit there by Endgame. Endgame ending their game almost. We've got Jin and Easy, the last 2 players left for that team. And, of course, Empire right here next to the Exiles. The Exiles trying to make their way up into a zone. You can see Dry just trying to put a few hits in. Venom landing yet another shot. We've got 1 player left, and Endgame ends the game with the Gren, sending the players from the Outlaws back into the lobby. So Empire now trying to get those hits in over towards the Exiles.
Yeah, and well, a lot of teams trying to move their way up in here. You could see Exiles taking a pole position there right in towards the center of the zone, trying to set themselves up in the best position possible. You can hear, or you could see at least, that they definitely know they want to set themselves up for this one, putting themselves in a good spot. They definitely want to take this, and I mean, they deserve it. Honestly, they've been working super hard these last few rounds, performing so brilliantly, and in my opinion, a little bit of a cheat in the, or not a cheat, but like they were robbed They were robbed in the last round or the round before that. So, they're out here. They're trying to get that chicken dinner. They want to put it on the board. They want to slap it down there. And all the rest of these teams trying to take it away from them, moving their way up here. You can see a lot of teams there towards the western side moving up. You can see about 3 of them just there on the west. And on the east, there's another 3 sitting on the other side. A couple of teams towards the south as well, all just putting on the pressure. Exile's going to have to respond with pretty much perfection if they don't want to get absolutely clapped from all sides.
And we've got the zone, of course, now moving up once again, yet once more over towards the coast. So yet again, half of the map not in zone. Just look at that.
Yeah.
And loads of players now making their way up. Now, if the Exiles can play this well, they might be able to get those teams as they now start moving up in, towards the zone. But the Exiles rotating up to that shoreline, and we got a few teams behind them, and it doesn't seem like the Empire team has spotted them just yet. But of course, we've got the Escapades and Limit Africa right there on the eastern side of the map, almost southeast. So we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. Will the Exiles eventually be able to get a chicken dinner for themselves, or will someone make it a little bit harder for them?
Yeah,
there we go. That's a safe way of saying it.
Yeah, that's the way. Let's see if we'll make it a little bit hard. You can see Phoenix now moving their way up on in towards the Exiles. Some shots now going through. Exiles putting down the shots, hammering out the pain towards Phoenix, and just absolutely making sure that they are staying alive as long as possible. Tiny trying to move and get a shot, knocking over Zane for the first time. Gonna be a difficult spot there for the Exiles.
Yeah, and up comes the rest of them now moving in, and they get the squad wipe. So they live to fight another fight, but we have some more fights happening just a little bit further on. You can see Endgame now just putting the shots there into Violet as they try and rotate up. Oh, there we go. So Pixie getting knocked out. It's a fairly tough position for them to be in, but we also have an interesting rotation as one of the Violet players moves up all the way over towards the Exiles. You can see Endgame now just having fun with the door there. We got Empire just over towards their northeast. Oh, down goes Luna.
Yeah, Violet now making their way up to Exiles, and the Exiles, they're not having any of that. They want to hang on to that chicken, so they're putting in the shots once again, making sure that they're not getting clapped. And you can see the kill feed pretty much full right now.
Yeah, and the Escapades now getting pushed also by the team here from Limit Africa. Let's see, will Hayes be able to get any of the shots? We'll just keep an eye on the kill feed there. There we go. Tish, of course, being the last one left here for the Escapades. Shots flying in. Tish getting hit in the process. Oh, well, sorry. Safraz also still alive. My bad. Oh, well, no. Now Safraz is the last one. Beautiful Gren coming in. Up they come. Beautiful hit now going right over towards Mr. Hayes there. Up comes Benz. Ooh, he suffers a serious case of the bends there. Down he goes. Who's going to get the next one? Safraz now moving up for that res.
Yeah, Safraz managing to hang on to that one pretty well. Definitely going to be happy with that performance right there. He's going to be moving on out to try and clap the rest of that team, make sure that they have nothing to go. But some more Grens coming in. That is going to be deadly.
Yeah, so Aimbot really getting a beautiful hit in there. Now let's see, will they get it? Oh, up comes the... Oh, Aimbot manages to land the final blow. Put the last nail in the coffin, and of course, down they go. Well done, well played. So we are down to our final 6 teams. We've got 20 players still alive. You can see the Exiles now once again on the prowl. Several players moving up onto their position. We've got Endgame, of course, just up ahead of them. We've got the Anarchy Angels also not too far away over towards the eastern side. Cheddar landing that quick hit in right there onto Sprinkles. And, of course, getting knocked out in the process as well. Panda dropping several smokes all over the place. And Hayes now putting some shots into Nemesis.
Yeah, this is getting tighter and tighter. We got 6 teams and 19 players left. Endgame putting some shots in, trying to make their way towards the endgame, of course, trying to get up in there. Exiles still managing to hold on to what they've got for the moment. We'll see if they're ready or not for the final zone, which is coming in closer and closer. We are edging towards that end game at least. You can see the shots still coming in from the Exiles. They do not want to let go of this one. They know they can make it to that final end game. They know they can make it to that chicken dinner, and they're putting the shots in.
And they're already sitting on 18 kills now. I was about to say 17, and then they got yet another one. I mean, this is just absolute mayhem. Just putting shots off in all directions. You can see them, of course, now taking aim over towards the Anarchy Angels off in the distance. That being Muffin, Tigress, and Muffin and Tigress right there on the edge. So 3 teams left. The Exiles still on a full squad. They are just moving around, and of course, this gives the players from God Gaming to move up. It gives them the chance to move up. Sorry.
Look at what the Exiles are doing right here. They have Panda and Cheddar towards the cliff face, and they have 2 players rotating around using the rest of the available position up there. All the teams are huddled up against this cliff face, which can be so difficult to fight against. And Exiles, they have a team. They have team members there on the cliff face to take those fights, but they also have teammates around the back to get some other shots in across from the other side as well. So they have pressure all across the map. Now you can see Panda moving up, putting some hits in, trying to catch out those players all the way down there. God need to hang on to this one because the Exiles are not letting them hang on at all.
No, they are thirsty. They are determined to get this chicken. So let's see, will it pay off? Will they get that chicken? God Gaming, of course, down to their last player. Ryzen is the last remaining player. There we go. The players now from the Anarchy Angels getting taken down. And it is the Exiles versus 1 more. Will they get their final chicken dinner? Oh, up comes the Mollies. Up comes the team. Everyone moving in, and down they go. And at long last, the Exiles get themselves their chicken dinner. But look at the kills. 24 kills.
Yeah, that is, I have to really, really give props to the Exiles for this one. I don't think we have seen a game tonight that the Exiles have not absolutely performed to such a high tier. Like, look at those kills. Every single match, they get an insane number of kills like that. And this is, I mean, I know I'm singing the praises here, but in the previous seasons, this was the team that I was looking at to be the Hunter team. That's what I was looking at. We were talking about the Hunter team, blah, 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 blah. This is where we got that whole sort of thing. That's what it was. It was the Exiles pushing up, making it happen. And once again, they're just doing it again, getting the kills in, putting the work. So they're up here. Big props to them. The rest of the team's still putting up a really, really stellar performance. But, I just had to highlight the Exiles there for just being really over and above a lot of what we've seen here today.
Yeah, 3rd time's the charm, and eventually they got that chicken dinner that they so badly wanted to get. I mean, it was taken away from them in both of the previous matches. I can we can breathe a sigh of relief now. At least it's happened and it's finished, So
Betchy. Yes, we're having a good time. We saw a really, really great set of matches here today. Some really, really great stuff. Pretty much every single match tonight has been absolutely entertaining. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. If you didn't go see the previous maps, and well, then go check them out. I mean, they were very, very interesting. Saw some crazy stuff, some crazy zones. And some entertaining stuff. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to cast the beginning bit of this map, which is really sucky because my browser was having issues. But, I'm out here. We out here. We're doing some stuff. And, I guess we'll see you again in the next one.
There we go. So thank you so much to everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. And, be sure to join us back again for the Umzansi League that continues on Friday.
Yeah.
Round 2.
That's going to be spicy.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. So I guess that's all from me and you.
Yeah, well, not yet, Batchy. Not yet. I mean,
not yet. You want to talk about something else?
Yes, you've had all this time where you couldn't speak. Now is your chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I get.
So take the
cool.
stage. Take the stage.
Well,
it's all
here
yours,
I am.
Batchy.
Let's see. What do I want to talk about? Well, we saw some great aggression in the beginning of the rounds. Most of the time, we saw a little bit of passiveness come out during the middle, but towards the last couple of matches that happened, so this one and the previous one, we saw some pretty well spread aggression. We saw some great examples of a lot of the things that we were talking about. A lot of examples of how getting aggressive can be really, really fruitful. You know, a lot of people or a lot of teams seem to be a little bit scared here and there, but ultimately, I think that as they continue to be more and more comfortable in the season, as it progresses, as they play a lot more, they'll see how that aggression pays off. And I mean, if the Exiles are anything to go by, and if they go back, if any of the teams right here go back and actually re-watch what happened here, they will see that maybe they could take a thing or two from the Exiles here, because we were talking a lot about how kills and placement is really important, but the combination of both is the key to winning, and the Exiles were able to do both. They got a hell of a lot of kills, and they didn't place lower than like third, I think, in the entirety of this evening. That is pretty much exactly the consistency that you're looking for. And I was talking about how I feel like the Exiles were maybe stolen away from one of their chicken dinners that they should have, or potentially, in my mind, should have gotten. But the thing is, the fact that they didn't get it is actually neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, what you're looking for when you want to perform at such a high level is you're looking for consistency. You don't necessarily need to win everything all the time. That's not the point. Being consistent is the key to performing. That's how you want to be. You want to be consistent in the way you're doing things. And if you're going to consistently place in those top 3 spots and consistently get a lot of kills, you're setting yourself up to be like the best, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the consistency, I agree with consistency, but it has to be beneficial consistency. Because there's no point in being consistent in something. No, because you're talking about consistency, right? So one thing that we consistently saw in the last 2 matches was 2 teams landing in school and the apartment area and not rotating out of that area. And they're not putting the shots into each other. Now that is consistent.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
but there's no benefit to that.
Fair enough. There's no benefit to that kind of consistency. But when I'm talking about consistency, I'm not meaning consistently being passive or like. In fact, you can consistently be passive, but it's more like don't consistently be meh.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's like when you like with what I'm saying about consistency is you want to get yourself up to a good level, a good standard of play, because I said you don't have to be the best of the best all the time, because that's impossible. But get yourself up to a good high standard and then be consistent. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Because what I was saying there is they were getting the top 3 and they were getting the frags all the time. If you're going to be placing 10th consistently, that's not going to help you. It's consistent, but it's not the consistency that you're looking for.
But also, when you were talking about being meh, I 100% agree with that. In competing on this level, competing on this level against the teams that you're going up against, if you're going to play a meh game, it's going to be super, super tough. You're going to struggle to get the placements that you want. You're going to struggle to get the kills. And that is one of the unfortunate things, To perform on this stage, you have to be relentless. You have to go out. You have to go searching for those kills, for the placement. And if it's a bit overwhelming, maybe go practice a little bit more. Get yourself prepared in a sense. Play against tougher competition. Put yourself in a position where you're not that comfortable. And then, of course, try and cope from there. Because if you come to this stage, you want to be performing already. You don't have to be amazing at the performance, but we need a performance.
Yeah, it's like at this stage, if what you're looking for is improvement, if you're looking to get better, then you definitely want to move yourself outside of the comfort zone. If you and your team are feeling good, like you're happy with sitting, in your building or wherever you choose to drop, you're sort of feeling comfortable, you've gotten a rhythm, because I'm not saying it's bad. Get yourself a rhythm, obviously. Find the places where you enjoy dropping, find the places where you're comfortable playing around, where the best, the area the best. That's great. But as soon as you start feeling comfortable in that area, that's when you need to start pushing yourself outside of that. Start going and doing something that you wouldn't normally do. Maybe be more aggressive than you would. Maybe rotate somewhere else. You've got to sort of push yourself outside of that zone and start making a little bit more headway into the other realms of playing, because that's the only way you're going to improve. Start doing that more and more and more. You can start testing things out. It's, there's nothing wrong with testing things out. And you always hear those sort of wise words like, oh, you learn from loss. But like, it's really true. Try something crazy, try something new. I'm a huge fan of like wacky underdog strats for that exact reason.
Yes.
I love it when a team picks up like a random strat and they're like, yo, let's just try this, and everyone's like, yo, this is crazy, it's never going to work, and then they do something with it, or there's potential to do something with it. The fact that they try something like that, it's amazing to see. I love that kind of stuff. So push yourself out of the comfort zone, try something new, test out your own new strategies, try find your own style of playing, and really just push your own limits to be better, I guess.
Well, I think on that note of pushing yourself to be better, let's have a look at the standings, the overall standings for today. So this is, of course, the standings for the last match that we just watched. We got the Exiles coming in there with 44 points, 24 kills. Holy crab sticks, well done. The Anarchy Angels coming in with 18 points. So they finished off in third place, but they managed to move themselves up into second place with the kills that you were talking about. And then, of course, Endgame landing themselves in third place overall. We've got Gold Gaming there in fourth place with 15 points. Limit Africa all the way in fifth with 13. 4 of those points, of course, being awarded by kills. And God Gaming getting 15 points and 0 kills, but at least placement brought them all the way up into there. Empire Gaming in 6th with 9. Also, we have the Escapades also sitting on 9. But they're, of course, being the 2 kill difference, the 1 kill difference between the two teams. You've got the Violets there in 8th place with 6. Tester Gang also with 6 points. Only 3 points for placement and 3 points for kills. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they still got themselves up into top 10. Phoenix Prodigy up in the 10th place there with 5 points. So it's interesting turn of events with the points there. You've got the Exiles there eventually getting that chicken dinner, and, the points then being trickled down as we go down the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy to see that kind of placement, because Exiles got like almost, in that last match, they got basically half the lobby themselves in kills, which is insane. And here it is, actually, post-match 3 overall standings. There it is, Exiles sitting at the top there, 93 points. That is definitely nothing to scoff at right there. That is like leagues above, that's 40 more points. That's insane. That's a lot of points right there.
33-point lead. Wow.
Yeah. So, that's going to be Exile Africa finishing in the number 1 spot there. They finally got their chicken dinner, but it's that consistency that I was talking about that got them the rest of those points. They got one single chicken dinner, but the rest of those points, it's just insane kill points. 43 kills in total, giving them a total, of course, 93 points. Up in second place is, of course, Unique, grabbing themselves 2 chicken dinners. Plenty of those placement points, landing them with 60 in total. Then, of course, in third place, we have Endgame with 49 points. Then in fourth, it's Empire. Fifth is God. Sixth, Anarchy Angels. 7th is Limit Africa. In 8th place is Phoenix Prodigy. 9th place is Violets. And in 10th place, we have Outlaws Gaming. So there is the top 10 teams post-match 3 for the overall standings for this evening.
Yeah, no, and it was absolutely amazing. And then, of course, we've got the Escapades coming in here in 11th place, 19 points. Once again, pretty good scores there. Testo Gang sitting on 18 points. We've got the Urwas finishing off in 13th place with 9 points. We've got Inc. finishing up with 8 points. We got the Yeeters there on 5 points. And then, of course, Static Nation and Royal Esports, unfortunately, not getting any points for this round. But, I mean, it was either way, it was a super, super tough competition. Well done to the teams that made it through. You guys are really deserving of that. Amazingly done. And, of course, the teams that didn't manage to make it through into the next pod, you guys know what you need to work on. Have a look at the video, at the stream, go through it, see what happened, see what the other teams did in comparison, and try work accordingly. Because, we're really looking forward to seeing more teams, of course, moving up, improving their gameplay, and stepping up to the next stage.
Yeah, So I guess with that being said and done, I hope you guys are motivated to keep pushing. Well done to all the teams making it up to the top. Of course, well done to Exiles for just smashing it straight out of the ballpark. And well, that is it from us. We will be seeing you guys in the next one. Of course, don't forget to catch the Umzansi League as well. We'll be seeing you guys pretty soon, I'm sure. So yeah, stay well and have a good one.
There we go. Have a great evening.